Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome, Doug Pollard and John Pollard. Today, I'm going to talk about how being sustainable and and investing in sustainability initiative is going to help the Pollard banknote achieve some benefits and reduce some risks. Pollard Banknote currently is printing lottery tickets. They are number one in Canada and number two in US in the manufacturing of this instant tickets. Also in their digital platforms, they are expanding. Um, iLottery, they are number one in the US. They're also number one in manufacturing gaming machines and number two in charitable gaming events. Uh, which contributes to about $55 million per year, donating back to the community. There are also many philanthropic contribution that the company does. Most recently, they have invested in about $4 million in for homeless housing in Winnipeg. Therefore, company is doing a lot of community donations and being engaging in recycling, so saving environment. However, the current scores of CSR, which is corporate social responsibility, is right about 51. The breakdown you can see for community philanthropy product. So likewise, you can see various sectors, how the company is doing. These scores were published by CSR Hubs. Therefore, company still has a lot of work to be done in the sustainability sector. And why is it important to do that? So currently, there are two major competitor of the company, Scientific Game Corporation and International Game Technology, formerly was known as GTEC. So Scientific Games Corporation is just like Pollard Banknote. They do talk about their risk and liabilities in their annual report. However, they don't have any programs or initiatives, and also they don't have any annual sustainability reports mentioning that. However, IGT do have that, and they report using GRI standards. For example, GRI 103 they use for supplier, GRI 102 for internal people, those kind of things they do report in their annual report. They are focused on the four main pillars, which is valuing and protecting people, advancing responsibility, supporting communities, and fostering sustainable operations. And through those four pillars, they are also focusing in United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. They are committed to about 9 out of 17, and those goals are universal, and people from companies from all industries are adopting to those goals and showing their impact. Um, they also have ISO 14,000 certifications at various locations. So you can clearly see that one of the competitor is going ahead in the curve and will be putting pressure on the other competitors by exercising these benefits from the sustainability initiatives. Therefore, it is the right time for the company to go chase them and be ahead of Scientific Games Corporation. And why is that important? The number one is currently PBR is dominating, Power Banknote Limited is dominating the local market, North American market, but to go to European and earn some contracts over there, they might be have to align their visions and their focus based on the European lotteries. Recently, the European lotteries updated the CSR guidelines, and they're putting a lot of emphasis on the sustainability. They also give like 9 areas that they are focusing on, so company can focus on target those areas and be aligned with the European lotteries and start capturing the market in the US. If we stay ahead of the curve, then we can start increasing our market share and ultimately revenue. Another benefit which directly impacts the bottom line is energy. By investing in alternative energy such as cogeneration plant, which is making electricity and heat through natural gas instead of traditional coal. Traditional coal produces a lot of greenhouse gas emission. Natural gas is much cleaner. So it's going to impact the environment, but at the same time, it's going to reduce or eliminate the dependency on the hydro, which in turn is going to save you a substantial amount of money in terms of bill. Winnipeg faces about 3 to 4 power outages a year. So imagine when the power outages happen, how much money, material, rework cost is going to be subjected to the company. Therefore, by removing that dependency, there could be constant flow of production. You're not dependent. You're producing your own electricity. Yes, the investment could be high initially, but it'll pay for itself in the long run. Similarly, investing in energy efficient HVAC system not only reduces your energy bill, but also reduces the sound and your noise in your factory. So the companies are subjected to noise regulations, and they cannot be over 80 decibels, or they have to have mandatory ear protection. So currently we are at the Pollard Banknote have a mandatory ear protection, hearing protection, and the employees are subject to the noise all the time. So any steps towards that will reduce the liability of the company. So the bottom line is the money saved is money earned. Whatever you save from energy is directly going back to your revenue, directly impacting bottom line. Uh, another benefit is reducing material and waste expense. Pollard Banknote shreds 40 tons of paper every day, although that paper is being recycled. But imagine if you no longer had to waste that paper. Not only you're going to save your efforts and time and energy uh, in doing the shredding activities, but you'll also reduce your storage and inventory costs. You no longer have to store a huge inventory, raw material inventory. So adopting manufacturing principles like lean will help you optimize your process, eliminate waste, and make your company much more efficient. uh, uh, Reducing ink and organic chemicals will also have, because they have huge high disposal costs. Like energy, water bill also affects the operating cost, and any cost that you save in operation directly impacts the revenue. One of the here, Pollard Banknote used this water sink. So you press this tap, this black ring, the water comes from all directions. But imagine there's only one employee standing here, but water is still going from all direction and it's been wasted. Um, on an average, a urinal flushes 7 liters per flush. We have 1,800 employees at the Pollard Banknote. Let's assume they go to washrooms twice a day, and 7 liters per flush will consume about 25,000 liters per day. So just a day. So imagine a month and a year, how much money we can save just by saving water. We can use rainwater harvesting systems. Yeah, there could be a huge investment associated, but the water saving in the long run would just pay for itself, like energy. And there are other ways to reduce water consumptions, like using recycling water in the production. Um, Switching to being sustainable also increases employee productivity. One of the example is we in the administrative documents, we still uses like physical paper copies. We ask the employee, we print the forms, all the administrative documents, we print it. We take physical signature of employees and we have to file them, store them. So that puts a lot of effort and increases the workload of an employee. So by switching to electronic version, yes, there is investment cost to switch to the softwares, but reduction of workload, optimizing the processes, reduction of the storage, all this would increase employees' morale, productivity, and ultimately help you save in the long run. Programs also like carpooling community volunteering. Some factories or industries have have let their employees use their sites to grow vegetables and beekeeping. Those employees are very passionate about being, let's say, growing vegetables. Not only they are now focused at the work, but they're also driving the motivation to work in those grow vegetables, and that's driving their overall motivation, and it reduces their turnover, increases the morale, productivity, and the turnover is reduced. It is the studies have found the company with positive CSR are more likely to retain their employees at about 84%. And well, all this risk you can, all this benefit company can take. There are also risks that the company can avoid. So not only company are going to take benefits, but they are also going to reduce risk. One of the example is if there is ever a spill of inks and chemicals, some companies have to do a lot of cleaning and will be subjected to fines. So company are risking that cost and the fines by not being sustainable. Having high turnover, employee turnover, directly affects their reputation and brand image, which can impact the investors and their contract, ultimately affecting the revenue stream. Also, lottery industry is highly regulated, so being compliant, a company has to be compliant, and not being compliance with the government would also affect in liabilities and fines. Therefore, sustainability would would give you benefits and reduction of cost. In conclusion, I would like to say is yes, there are costs associated, like I'm saying, there are costs associated with being sustainable. There are company resources that has to be dedicated to the sustainability activities. However, the benefits are huge to the company, that it should not be neglected. Rather, it should be the program should be initiated as soon as it's possible to capture the growth opportunities, capture the markets, to save the cost of energy, material, waste, water, and directly putting reducing those costs and putting back to the revenue increases the profit. The company is particularly focused on showing the EBITDA in the financial statement, so that's going to increase, which are going to attract a lot of investors and going to make the shareholders happy. And finally, it's going to reduce risk and liabilities to the company. So therefore, I highly suggest that Pollard Banknote should start investing in sustainability initiatives as soon as they can. Thank you for listening to me. I'd like to answer any question if you have. Thanks for listening to me.